And good evening, everyone, to another OSR Tabletop with myself, Dion Bloodworth. Good to see you all in there. I see we already have two people watching. I'm sure a few more will be coming on in. Put out notice for this stream about 6 hours ago, so hopefully that was enough heads up time for you to know that it's going to do this open mic. I tend to do these every Sunday night, sometimes at 7 p.m. and other times like tonight at 8 p.m. I was expecting to be at a neighbor's house until about 7:30 or so. So I timed it very, very well. So I'm glad to be here. And again, this is going to be an open mic. I will talk about, a little bit about my gaming from the past week, and my gaming is not just the games that I've run, but also some of the games that I'm interested in beginning to play as a player. With there's some opportunities there, as well as some individuals that have, that I have spoken to, and they have various projects that they're working on that I'm looking forward to participating in as well. So it's going to be quite a few things, that I'll be talking about, but also it is going to be completely open for you to come in and to talk about the things related to gaming in your gaming experience from this past week as well. So let me jump right into the chat and see who is here. And yes, some of my regulars are here. So Michael, good to see you. And Death Angel's Shadow, hello, how's it going? Was catching one of your videos earlier on and really enjoying it. And so it's always good to see and to watch other people and what they're talking about and their content. And I go there as as a fan, as a, fellow YouTuber, and just a fellow gamer out there to see what you are all working on as well. So I've always practiced, quite a bit of reciprocity in following other people's channels as well. I follow something like 260 channels. Now, not religiously, it's hard to keep up with that many channels, which makes me really appreciate those that come to my channel on a very regular basis. Because I know how nearly impossible it is to check in with everyone at around the same time frame. So glad to have you all here. And Cooperative Waffles, hey, how's it going? And your mic is a bit tiny. Did the interview with Tom Wilson destroy the rig? So it's kind of low. So let me move this forward and let me double check that. I appreciate it. Yeah, something with that last interview. All of a sudden, I had to change the settings. So let me see what is going on here, and I appreciate you pointing that out. That is the issue. So yes, let me know if this has fixed that. You know what I have to do is I have to unplug that. Earlier on, I realized when I did my video earlier on today, I realized that it was picking up multiple mics and I wasn't quite sure where that was going. So just let me know, Michael, if that has improved it. It should have. It should be using just the one mic now. It should be using this one right here. So I will, there we go. Thank you very much. Yeah, that sometimes, this computer setup, it's like it always wants to grab every single mic at the same time, even though I have them set for something. And when I put my between my headset, which I stopped using because it's just too Um, it's too uncomfortable for me to wear the headset. There's only very, very few things that I do with the headset on, and I practically haven't used it in months. Um, Once in a while, that thing is live and it's picking up. I don't know why my computer likes to do that. So anyway, thanks for letting me know. And yeah, without your help, I would never know until like the end. All right, I've had that happen, on occasion. Luckily, this morning I double checked my video just to see, and I was like, wow, I sound like I'm in a tin can. And I usually don't do that step of double checking before I upload my video. Um, and then when I went back into the tools, I noticed I was like, oh, you're picking up the default, which is, I believe, the camera mic, which is horrible. So thanks for letting me know. So anyway, so gaming wise, so this week, as always, I run Tuesday nights. I run a Castles and Crusades campaign. Uh, my player group is doing very, very well, and I collapsed my Friday night Advanced Dungeons and Dragons campaign. It kind of struggled to really get off its feet, and get off on its feet, I should say, and entirely on me. Um, to start a new campaign in the summertime is not something that I have found a good experience with, and so I need to stop doing that. Uh, I need my summers are too erratic with my gaming schedule and such. So I definitely, um, I definitely won't be making that mistake any longer. Luckily, all of my players from my Friday night game, which dwindled down to about three consistent players, are already playing in my other games for the week. And I just moved one of them over into my Castles and Crusades group. So now I have, six players, possibly seven players in my Castles and Crusades game Tuesday nights. And that is well on its way. Um, the player characters are going up pretty quickly in experience and in levels. So they're virtually, on the verge of being third level, and yeah, they've just been very, very lucky with the amount of treasure that they've been picking up, and that's been boosting up their levels a lot faster. So it's something I want to take a look at, and I like to have a very good, um, a steady pace of growth, but not too rapid. And it's kind of leaning towards a little bit too rapid. So, but they do have some pretty significant challenges coming up as well. So we'll see how that plays out. Consequently, in my Saturday, game, which is Shadow Dark and set up in the Skyrim, so it's using Shadow Rim as a setting, and some class and uh, class trait modifications and everything that come with that. Um, that settle that particular supplement, I should say, that they've been progressing pretty decently, and it is less based on treasure acquisition, leveling up. They basically get 3 experience points per session, based on their adventuring, their combat, their interaction with the world or with each other and whatnot. And then once every level, they get to do a carousal roll, which usually boosts them up. So what it should produce is taking probably about 3 or 4 adventures to go up those middle levels. So going to first to second was very fast. Going from second to third should take a little bit longer, and I'm assuming that by the time they get to where they need, 30 experience points, that's where they're going to have to put in some
10 or so actual game sessions to go up that level. So it is going to really start to stretch out and create a situation where it's going to take them longer and longer to go up levels. And that should be good. That should be a um, really good process for them as far as character generation and development, I should say, goes. Uh, yes, it is. It is one of Chubby Funster's, and I just put it away. Let me just grab it so everyone can see it. I grabbed the wrong book. So yes, so there it is. Shadow Rim, highly recommend it. Take it really does take Shadow Dark and a really cool place. Love the setting. I absolutely love Skyrim, and the way that the book is organized, and you of course have to use it along with the core rule book of Shadow Dark as well. They work really well together, and again, I highly recommend you get a hold of that because it is excellent. Moving on, and if anyone wants to jump in here, I am going to put up the invite. So if anyone wants to jump in, you are welcome to jump in. And here goes the link. So let's see, what else do we have to talk about? So now I have been looking at potentially jumping in and playing some. So I am in one of those situations where I often become the forever GM, and I have very few opportunities to play. And so with the ending of my Friday night game, it actually opens the door for me to do some playing as well. So I'm looking forward to that. And there is a tomorrow night, as a matter of fact, I was invited to play in um, a Daggerheart game. So I'm really looking forward to that, to play Daggerheart for the first time as a player. So we're going to do character generation at 6 p.m. and then I will go in and see how the game session goes. Go along with it. Now I'm going to probably really get an idea of my player character. I'm going to probably go with a ranger. It's one of my favorite classes, or I might go with a rogue. I'll see which one really works out better for me, or more interest level for me, and then we'll see how it goes. Now, the DM for that I actually interviewed on my channel because we had met at the Central New York RPG Con for the first time, and his table was next to mine, and I looked over to see, how everything went, and we were both focused on running our games and everything. So, but we chatted afterwards, and then got into, and then he came onto the channel and spoke and changed some of my misconceptions of the game as well, and the game system as well. And so now I have an opportunity to actually play in one of his online games. So I'm really looking forward to that. Um, and we'll see. I don't know how long I'll be able to make a Monday last for that long, but we'll see. Because Monday night is usually my late night at work, and I return back to work on Mondays, sometime the second week of September. So we'll see how that's working out. Maybe he's just doing a series of one shots, and that'll be fine too. Anyway, let's see. Yes, you got to interview him as well, and Chubby Funster. I'm assuming, yeah, he is a great guy, and he's really knowledgeable about gaming, and it's awesome. Yes, I will be doing a review of my gaming experience playing um, Daggerheart, and I'm looking forward to it. Recently, somebody had done a commentary on my previous Daggerheart video, and so he critiqued it, and he was kind of saying, "Old man, shouts at clouds or shouts at Daggerheart," and he was in a way, picking apart my take of my take of Daggerheart and what I was first getting from it, and which I didn't mind. I am certainly thick-skinned enough for someone to, disagree with me, or even to, to be uh, somewhat unkind, or whatever, which he really wasn't. But you know, uh, he uh, he certainly kept on lumping upon me a a very narrow view, like saying that I have a very narrow view of gaming, and I was confusing um, my preference for role playing with what is good role playing, or the only, the right way to role play and such. And I really didn't mean for it to come off that way, but if that's the impression that I left him with, then that's partly on me as well. um, and I said to him that yes, I was probably a little bit more harsh. But did you watch? And I asked him the question: did you watch my other video where I was actually praising quite a bit of what I saw in Shadows? I'm sorry, in Daggerheart. And then after that, I had the interview with that Daggerheart game master, and he had changed my mind on some other aspects of it, really pointed out where a few of the things I was misinterpreting, let's say, and so again, I am completely open to being proven wrong. Um, and I also, but I also want to state that if I'm going to be very critical of a game and I've bought that game, I think that I'm kind of entitled as a consumer to say, you know what, I really don't like this, and anyone, out there, even if they are part of the design team of Daggerheart, shouldn't be all that upset that I am, potentially the attacking Critical Role or Daggerheart or Darrington Press or whatever. If I'm a purchaser of the game, I'm not somebody sitting on the outside and didn't put my own skin in the game here. So that's another thing that I do want to point out, that I feel entitled to not like aspects of a game that I purchase. And I won't back off from that. So anyway, I won't lie, I'm a little biased against Daggerheart. Looks overly complicated to me. I don't know if it's complicated. I know some people have said that I did a video of character creation, and character creation, just like selecting your card and your race and your class and your, what early attribute or what early abilities you're going to have. That was literally done in like 5 or 6 minutes. That was not complicated at all. Um, so that's very quick. I don't know how and I've seen this talked about, but I haven't experienced it yet. I will tomorrow night. But one complication, or for the game master, is that every time the player is rolling the two d12s, the game master has to constantly consider, well, this has just generated hope, or this has generated fear, and then how am I going to respond to that with every single roll? I think that might become very challenging for a game master, and it could potentially put the game master in in the space, in the headspace of saying, I don't want them to have, I don't want to force them to have to roll that often, and so avoid rolling altogether, because then they have to keep on thinking, well, that's a success with a complication, or that's a fail but with a, with hope, and um, I have to constantly represent that in some way, with every single roll that is made. And so I could definitely see that as something that might wear out a game master um, that is running Daggerheart. But again, I will find out tomorrow night, through my own experience as a player. So you can make a Blaze of Glory death move before you have to go back to work. Yes. Yeah, there are some aspects of like the death mechanic that are interesting, but certainly not to my taste. Uh, I like I like for there to be a pretty well described, at this point under these circumstances, your character's dead, and there's no uh, that's not a that's not an end of a story. I know a lot of times people will argue, oh, well, that brings about the end of that character's story. And it doesn't necessarily have to be so. Not if the rest of the party decides to build off of that event. And not if the game master builds that loss into a part of the story of the world, and and brings back in some way the memory of that character back into the situation that they might be dealing with days, months, or even weeks of, even potentially real time, weeks and months down the road. And then all of a sudden there's an encounter with someone who was attached to in some way that player character that died. So yeah, character death is not an ending. It is just it's just an opportunity for the story to go in a different direction. And that's something that I like to try to remind my players. Now, we've had very, very few character deaths in my experience in my games. Had many, many close calls, but very few character deaths in my games, and that's partly due to the fact that my players are pretty darn experienced, and so they don't make foolish mistakes. And only bad die rolls have brought them to the point of having to make so many. If you don't roll this, at this point your character's dead, kind of situation. And I know in my AD&D first edition campaign that lasted 2.25 years long. The average number of death saves that had to be made, and I call them death saves without, don't conflate it with the 5e mechanic, but the number of times in 108 sessions that a character was nearly killed was 29 times in 108 sessions. And on 3 of those occasions, the characters actually did die. And so to me, that's a pretty significant indicator that that adventuring is a dangerous business. And I think my players respected that fact, and they understood, and they appreciated that all of their challenges were very complex and meaningful. Their challenges were meaningful. Yeah, maybe complicated in the play and the rules, and I will experience that firsthand tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. Like, I can't watch live plays and everything, so I tried watching the first Age of Umbra, and it's just not my thing to, anything. If I had 3 hours to sit there and watch somebody play a game session, I have 3 hours to run a game session. And I would always default on running a game session rather than watching somebody else play a game session. Uh, yes, there might very well be a lot of things to track, and that's something else I've also heard. So I will be looking at that as well. Um, so let's see. So yeah, so Daggerheart is on my schedule to play for the first time, and I'm looking forward to that. And that's something else that is that is important to me as a gamer, to have an opportunity to play in in a game that is, I guess, for for lack of a better terms, it's a powered by the apocalypse inspired game system, which I've never played before. So there will be quite a bit of learning on my part, and I'm looking forward to it. So let's see, what else did I? So I also picked up this, and I just did a video this morning. That was the one that I was having those mic issues with, and so this is Comrade's Free Fire Zone for Amazing Adventures, and so this to me is how I would bring Twilight 2000 into a modern setting, and with a game system that is very streamlined, with the Siege engine and everything. So very easy for, I think, players to pick up and move forward with. Um, Not that Twilight 2000 isn't an incredible game. I absolutely love that game system. I do not have the more recent Free League edition of it. I have the first edition of it. I was never a big fan of the second edition of it. I just so nostalgic for the first edition that I would look to run that, and I have played in it more recently in the past like 5 or 6 years. I've played in that, but I played as a post by mail kind of situation, which I was not fond of that either, having to wait on everybody to finish doing their email and then trying to piece it together that way. I don't know how people do that on a regular basis. That's really, really tough. I don't like gaming by text in general. I think it's very slow. But I'm sure some people will have a very differing opinion on that. But for me, not my play style at all. I like to be able to talk and see people, and um, I like to be in character and have my character saying what he is going to be attempting to in real time, and not, well, I'm looking to do this, and I'm going to attempt to do that, and now I'm going to wait a week to get everyone's responses as emails as to what their characters are doing, and if it in any way impacts what I was looking to do. I don't know how they do it. I know some do it, and they've been doing that for a long, long time. I can't wrap my head around how that actually works, but I've tried it. I don't mind trying things. And if I don't like it, I'll just say, hey, I don't like it. It's not my style of play. And I might find that with Daggerheart too. I might play through it and, you know, and walk away from that experience and just saying, yeah, that's not my style of role playing. And again, see how it goes. So let's see, what else have I been planning on? So I'm starting to get ready for ShireCon, both mentally ready and also getting my materials and everything ready. I have written a game adventure for Castles and Crusades. So it is my own adventure, and now I'm starting to look at that adventure and see, well, how is this going to be altered to fit within a 4-hour time block and still do everything I want my players to experience at the table. So I wanted to showcase the game system as well as tell the story of the adventure that they're partaking in, and also um, be very challenging and streamlined to the point that if they do have to roll up new characters, that could be done very, very quickly. Um, and so that's what I'm really looking for that experience to take place with. And then in my second session, I'm also running Castles and Crusades, and I am running the adventure that came with the box set. And again, I'm going to tweak that and make that where it fits within the 4 hour time block, including character creation and probably creating a backup character and for each of the players at the table, and see how that runs as well. I will be homebrewing aspects of that to make it much more dynamic, and that is just my own homebrew that I do at conventions. I just found that this really works, regardless of the game system that I'm using. This really works to amp up the fun that the players are having at the table. It also allows me to elevate the challenge that they'll be facing as well, in anticipation that they're going to have quite a bit to, quite a bit of ways to meet those higher challenges as well. Let me get to some of the things. I am not a critter. I don't really enjoy their show. I do like Vox Machina. Yes, that cartoon. That first season was excellent. The second season a little bit less so, but it's still good. Still good stuff. And I will certainly watch the third season of it just to see how it goes. I actually like the cartoon better than I've liked their live plays. So, anyway, I have also been. Did I mention this? All right. So I'm preparing for. Sorry, I went off. I was looking at comments, and then so I finally got my Adventurers Backpack equipment cards from Troll Lord Games. Came in along with that Amazing Adventures setting, and so now this I am going to use at the convention table, and I think it's just something that I think is a nice visual, very tactile for the players to deal with, and they'll get to choose their backpack that their character will be utilizing. And they'll most likely take the ones that are for their character class, but maybe a few might decide, to break from that mold and to go with something else that will still be, whether it's a wilderness travel backpack or a dungeoneering backpack or something else along those lines, like a medic backpack, rather than the fighter, the magic user, the cleric, or whatever. Looking forward to using these at the table. And again, I think that it will display a lot of the things that Castles and Crusades does really, really well. And looking forward to it. So that's that. Now, I've been approached. I'm not going to quite say, I'm not going to put out there who these individuals are and what their specific projects are, but once they make an announcement and once I reach out and we solidify some of these things, then I will come out. But I'm already speaking to two different individuals for two different projects. One is looking to create a tabletop RPG gamer related magazine, and now I know he's already started posting on Facebook that they're looking for people to contribute. So this is Wizard Tower Games. I will say that because he has done the Facebook posts, and and he had asked, hey, would you be interested in writing some articles for it? I am not a trained article writer. I've never actually done that to the extent. Now I can write. I'm a former educator, and I've written many term papers and thesis, a thesis, you know, uh, a master's degree thesis, and you know, done plenty of research and that kind of writing, but I've never really written and for publication anything other than adventure modules, and those kinds of things, and still very amateurish, I should say. So writing for an article or writing an article for a publication is something I've never done before. And so, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to that challenge. I certainly should have the time to do it. I'm hoping that I can produce things in a timely manner. And, the last thing I really need, even though I am semi-retired, is something like, "Hey, I need you to finish this article in 2 weeks." That kind of thing. I'm hoping that's not what I'm facing. I'm hoping that it's like, hey, whenever you get a chance and you want to put something out there, it might not come in the next episode, next issue, but a future one, sure. And I'm hoping it works along those lines. Oh, we got someone trying to join in. And so, hey, Death Angels Shadow, how's it going? Oh, I can barely hear you.
Give me a second here.
Oh, I hear you a little bit better now.
There we go.
I'm just going to pause my view here for a second, and then I will turn this up.
How's my audio?
Yeah, now you're good. Yeah, it was on my end. I didn't have that high enough.
Yeah, I had to. Apparently, I had a reboot in between, and I didn't have my my mixer wasn't set up to talk to Restream, so I had to select it. It was like,
yeah,
nothing.
I had a similar thing. It's like that, like I think you said earlier on, that interview I did with Tom, and it's no fault on Tom, but for some reason that just reset all of my things to default mic, which is not the mic that I generally use, and it defaulted to the webcam microphone, which absolutely sucks.
Oh yeah,
It's like, yeah,
I've never heard a webcam with good audio.
yeah, it's like it puts you inside a steel drum,
Yeah,
when you're talking. It's like, holy cow. I'm
Yeah.
so glad I double checked that video this morning, and I normally don't do that because I haven't had that problem in so long, so I was like, oh shit, I'm so glad I actually did that double check. Otherwise I would have put out a 25-minute video that just wouldn't have been listenable.
yeah. Where is that?
So let's see. We have a few more people come in here. Hello, Peace Chanter, a new name, so welcome. If you have been here before, just don't remember, so apologies for that. That's what Death Angels Shadow looks like. Oh, he's never seen you in person, I guess. I've had several people now do a face reveal on my channel. So the RPG Pundit was, it was my channel was the first time that he
was it?
showed his face. Yes, he, accidentally you didn't. I guess he didn't realize that, he didn't have his avatar up there, and he was like, oh, well, the hell with it. We'll just go with it. I mean, that was almost like 2 years ago. So yes, my channel was the first channel that he did a facial reveal.
Yeah, I remember when he started doing his live stream, the live stream that he does, usually when he's interviewing somebody else, that he does that now. But he's only been doing those, about a year now, a year and a half?
No, I think it was about maybe almost 2 years.
Was it?
Since he's gotten rid of the avatar and just put his face out there.
Yeah. I mean, he still does, like his regular videos, you still see Domino. So.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah. But when he does the long form videos, you'll see him. Because I think a lot of people like that. I've never been shy about who I am, so
So now I know
I
it.
don't hide. People call me by my first name all the time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, okay,
I've slowly moved away, from just using my RPG name, my stage name of Bloodworth, and now you'll see Richard, and you'll see
yeah,
other things like that. I mean, it's I've told this story before, but I am a retired school teacher, New York City school teacher,
yeah,
and during the Michael Bloomberg years,
hmm
all right, he had 3 people on staff making $140,000 a year just going through social media, searching for
Lord,
Department of Education employees, particularly teachers, and finding any kind of a reason to go after them and fire them. You know, and it was like now I was a union rep in my school building as well for 16 years in total,
right,
and I was telling my teachers and my teachers assistants or paraprofessionals, they're called, and even school secretaries, and I was telling them all, I was like, listen, you need to separate yourself and on social media from your social media accounts. If you're going to do a personal account, then remove all connection to the Department of Education of the City of New York. Don't mention your school. Don't mention don't mention that you're a teacher or a secretary or whatever it is. Make a complete break. And then if you want to get into politics or whatever and get into that kind of chatter on the internet, or you want to show yourself at your bachelor party or bachelorette party or whatever, you better make a clear separation of you from your. So I
yeah,
was using my gaming name, of either Bloodworth or, whatever, which is a game name that I created in 1996. All right. With High Seas Trader, so that was the name of my pirate, on High
yeah.
Seas Trader. And I had used that name for now almost 30 years, on.
I think I might have you beat. So
Hmm.
my nick, and if it, just that terminology, calling it a nick might be might place it, but that's my old BBS name and SysOp name from
Okay, cool.
when I was a teenager.
Yeah,
And I haven't been a teenager in almost 40 years, so
yeah,
it's been a
yeah,
while.
yeah, yeah. It just became a nature, and even on Facebook, like I used the false name on Facebook, but because I verified that name at one point, they won't let me change it. I was
Yeah,
like, well, you know what? It's like, I even tried to explain. I was like, this is the reason why that account was made. And now it's like really my main account. I was never used my personal account on Facebook, but I do separate my contacts for the most part
yeah,
between the two, but they wouldn't let me go back.
yeah. See, and when I created my Facebook account way back when, I used the Death Angel Shadow name,
Hmm.
and then they made me change it.
Yes,
But it,
I had the same thing. Right.
but the account is still, the whatever at Death Angel Shadow. And it's like,
Yeah, I had the same situation because I just had
I'm like, I'd
DM
rather go by Death
Bloodworth.
Angel Shadow on Facebook, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Facebook's such a
I had
cesspool.
DM Bloodworth, and they said you cannot have DM, and so I was like, okay, Edward James Bloodworth. All right, which is absolutely not my name. Yeah. And they're like,
Right.
okay, are you going to verify that? Yes, I verify that it is, and now I can't change it. I was like, God, that's so stupid. And
Yeah.
that was years ago.
Yeah.
Because that goes back to the Bloomberg era, which had to be about 9 years ago or so. So,
I actually kind of I disagree with that whole premise. Anybody that tries to say, well, you shouldn't be able to be anonymous online, or you should be able to post stuff anonymously. Well, if that had happened, we wouldn't have the United States of America.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows history knows that the Federalist Papers were published under what, Publius, I think
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
the.
Yeah. There were.
And I mean, it later came out who it was, but
Yeah.
that was a death warrant back then.
Yeah.
You're going against the king.
Yeah.
So, there's good reason to be able to, but I live in rural Tennessee, so, I'm not too worried.
Right. Well,
Somebody comes up my driveway, they have to deal with my neighbors first before they even get to me. So good luck with that, if they can find me.
that's why John Hancock wrote his name so boldly and so large.
Yeah.
It was like the FU.
Yeah.
To the authorities to say, yeah, I'm not hiding who I am. This is me, and
Yeah.
let them come for me.
But I do get people that, because I do work with, public safety and stuff like that. I'm a volunteer, I'm a ham radio operator. So
Yeah.
Cue up the dial mono sign.
Yes.
Hey, I could type faster than 300 baud.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
Yeah. So let's see.
But
let me try to get caught up here with some of the things. Domino is a sideshow Mel of that guy's channel. Yep.
yeah.
I tried so hard to get them to pay attention to you, but honestly, didn't. If it was Bloomberg, Bloomberg did not pay attention to me. Thankfully, that was a very fast time period.
Yeah. But I mean, then of course we went through the bad years with Twitter and Facebook and everybody censoring any opinions.
Oh yeah. I'm on my second account on Twitter, and it finally hit 1,000 followers. So I was like, all right, that's kind of cool.
That's probably the one I'm following, right?
There's only one I have. It's just unscripted and unchained, RPG review.
But it shows up weird with the @ right? It's like you and you.
No, it should be at. Isn't it at you and you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at you and you.
At you and you RPG review.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's that was another thing. It was like stupid. It was I fell into responding to a post, and it was like a trap, what do they call that? Like a honey trap or whatever they call that. And it was like, did this go far? It was basically a supposed child attacker, I would say. Because you don't know what words you could use anymore. And it was
even still today,
he was
even
getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
All right. And then the question was, did the mob go far enough? And all I responded to was, not if he survived, and bang.
Yeah, and they
took
like, that as a threat. Yeah.
Permanent ban. And I was like, did the person who posted this get banned? That's all I want to know, because if I'm just responding to a video and it's not advocating for something in the present or in the future tense, it's talking about something that already happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's not incitement of anything. And it was like so I requested, a review, made an appeal, and that was responded to in less than 15 seconds. So I know it was all automated.
Yep.
Yeah, it was all automated. And I was like, all right, whatever, so I waited quite some time before I just created a new account. And that was a paid account too. It was like, I was paying, back then I was paying, so that might've been just after, after Elon got there. So I think a lot of the same moderation was still around by then.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit freer now, but I'm still not going to risk that kind of thing.
Yeah, everybody, once bitten, twice shy, as I like to say. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Tell it to the jury. Yes. No, I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother telling it to the jury.
well,
Um,
that and that's the big thing.
yeah.
It's these places set themselves up as, oh, we're going to be the digital town square,
Yeah.
and then you get kicked out of the digital town square, and you're like, oh, but it's a private company, and it's like you can't have it both ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to be the digital town square and you've made it to being the digital town square,
Yeah.
you got to kind of go by the Constitution, I think.
Yeah.
But at any rate, but
But yeah, I know some. I know another person. I know where he's talking about no shadow account cowards. And I know someone who will always say, "I'm not even going to respond to you because you're a shadow account." All right. It's like, yeah, you know what? It's many people have shadow accounts, if you want to call it that, for a variety of reasons. Um, but after 9 years of posting, I don't think you can call anybody, whether they're using their real name or not, a shadow account.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, you know what? You can find out, you can find out who I am,
yeah.
from just watching, pretty much, and you'll see. Not after 9 years, you can't hide yourself after 9 years or
Oh
whatever
yeah,
it's been.
yeah.
Um,
Well, and I've got a couple of YouTube channels. I just don't post that much up on them. I need to post
yeah,
more. But one of them is ham radio related. They're branded accounts. I said them all the branded accounts. The downside of being
yeah,
a branded account means you can't get like when you got people giving away the free subs or the free memberships. You
yeah.
can't.
Yes. J. Scott Garibay for
I know I do. I got the JSW.
yeah, yeah,
And FTW. I don't know if
for
it
the win.
means. Okay, that's not what it means to me. But I'm an
Oh,
'80s kid, so it means quite the opposite.
it could be fuck the world. Yes,
That's what it means
yes.
to me.
On a live stream, you could say that.
Okay.
It's like we're far enough past the
Yeah,
8 seconds
right. Yeah. It's
to,
we're
so you have all those little rules and everything. I almost never curse on my channel, like
right.
when I'm doing videos. Um, Almost never.
Yeah.
Now, on a live stream once in a while, I'll slip in there. I'm not a Puritan, I'm saying.
Yeah.
But but again, that goes just back to being a school teacher for so long.
Yeah. Well,
And
like I said, I'm a ham
yeah,
radio operator. I can't use that kind of language on the radio.
yeah, yeah. I
I,
remember.
I get
I
fined.
remember back in the day when they were like, oh no, like they really do monitor, speech over, I guess that's what
The
the
FCC.
FCC, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Broadcast anything over broadcast radio waves or well, television is just radio waves.
Yeah.
So anything over transmitted like that is subject to remember what's his name, the comedian that did the 7 words you can't say on television,
Oh
George
yeah, yeah.
Carlin.
George Carlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I love his little
Yeah.
cheer and all that stuff, but I couldn't say any of that stuff. I mean, not just that, but usually, well, for one thing, if I'm talking on the repeaters on VHF or UHF, there's probably a lot of them are monitored and recorded by the person who owns the repeater,
Yeah.
and they'll report you
Yeah.
just because they don't want it's a snowball that starts
Yeah.
going downhill. For one thing, you're breaking the rules. They don't want to be held a party to it because they're literally the way repeater works is it hears you on one frequency and retransmits you on another. So, oh, okay. Well, thanks, Peace. I appreciate
Yes.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say, like back in the day, back in the '80s, you remember, at least on Long Island, New York, there's a lot of pirate radio stations. And
Yeah,
I love those pirate radio stations.
sure.
I mean, they were, they were so much edgier, and you heard music and bands that you would have never heard before. It was like, oh, hey, the Good Rats. It was like nobody's, I mean, Twisted Sister was first
Yeah,
on Pyro Radio before they were, you
I
know,
believe it.
I saw Twisted Sister play for the first time at a freaking at Blake's roller rink. It was like Jesus. I was like,
Really?
yeah. It was like
Wow.
they were playing roller rinks, on Long Island.
Well, and I've seen a lot of because I'm an '80s metalhead, hard
Yeah,
rock, but mostly metal. I'm not picky when it comes to the I like speed thrash,
mm,
even some punk metal. Metallica was my band for years. That was my favorite band, but Megadeth as well. Which, if you notice the spelling of my
yeah,
nick,
yeah,
it's DETH, which is
yes,
ripped right straight from Megadeth. I
yeah,
fully come out with because Death Angel Shadow
mm,
was a character in the Neuromancer video game.
okay.
That's where I got it from. If you
And
played
was that in the book? It's been so
I
many
don't
decades since I've
I
read the
don't
book.
I don't know if Death Angel Shadow was ever in any of the books.
All right,
I read most of the books.
yeah,
Certainly Neuromancer, which is the story of Case and what
yeah,
Cyber
yeah.
City and all that.
I actually started listening to that on audio like 6 months ago, and then I just stopped because I stopped commuting so much, and I was like, okay, I'll just, it's been a while since I've gone back to it, but yeah, I love that stuff. I know you were
Yeah.
talking about heavy metal and everything, so Cannibal Corpse was another huge one, like at
Well, yeah.
that time too. It's like, if you were into death metal, that was it. They were one of the bigger names at the time.
Yeah. I go up to about Slayer level when
Yeah,
it comes to that
yeah,
stuff. I'll do Slayer, but
yeah.
and I've seen Slayer. Oh man, I saw Slayer. My stepson, when he was 14 years old, I took him to his first concert.
Yeah.
And this was, I mean, he's only in his late 20s now, so this was not terribly long ago. Um, and it was Anthrax opened, it was Megadeth's show, it was their tour, and Slayer was the closing act. And so, Anthrax went on, and I wasn't even in the building yet. I'm still standing in line, and I'm like, man, I have never seen at that point. I had never seen Anthrax before, so I never got to see him back in the 80s or 90s. So Megadeth come on, nobody left the floor, and more people packed onto it. Now the floor is full. This is at Universal Studios, Hard Rock, the Hard Rock venue there at the studios in Orlando. And they did a killer job, and I've seen Megadeth several times since. In fact, last concert I
Wow.
saw in Nashville was Megadeth back in October, I think it was. But yeah, then Slayer came on, and not a soul left, and I'm like, how are more people going to fit on here? And literally, the population on the floor doubled, and it was like you were standing like this, So, but I was deaf for 3 days after that show. My kid had earplugs. I did not.
Yeah. Yeah, the last three concerts I saw, and I don't know which order it was in, was the Wiggles, Barney, and Dora. All right, so those are the
Oh
last
yeah,
three.
okay.
It was like the
Is
last
this
three concerts I was at.
as dad or granddad?
As dad, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, that was it. I mean, I was like, oh, my days of going to. I think prior to that was forget if it was Eric Clapton at Madison Square Garden.
Mhm.
That was an awesome. That was an
I've heard
awesome
that
concert.
venue is really good
And
to
that's
see
when
live.
that's when his Tears from Heaven song came out. So
Which he
uh,
wrote about his son, right?
that was a long time. That had to be early '90s.
Yeah.
I'd have to look and see, look it up and see, but maybe that was '90. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, he
it was
lost his son, right? Wasn't that
yeah,
what
yeah,
that
yeah. It
was
was
written
that,
about?
that song is about his, when his son fell off the balcony.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever that song came out, that was the year that I saw him. Or the year following was the year that I saw him in concert, and I think that was the last actual concert I went to. That was an adult concert and not for my girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, we like, like my wife and I,
92, thank you. So that was 92,
92.
93. Yeah, so like I said, it was certainly early 90s. So yeah, that was the last time I went to a concert. I'm not embarrassed to having brought my kids to those concerts. They were great
I took,
concerts, actually. They were actually very good. I mean,
oh yeah.
as far as entertainment wise and everything, they were very good.
Now, when my wife, when my stepson was younger, of course, I worked at Universal, and my brother worked at Disney.
Mhm.
So he got to see the Bear in the Big Blue House at
Uh-huh.
Disney. I think it was
Yeah.
Disney, I think, that had that one. And then he got to see Barney and stuff like that. Oh,
Right.
everybody hated Barney except for the kids. But some of that stuff. We saw Nickelodeon Studios kind of stuff was still there. Like we had the Jimmy Neutron ride, and that got rehabbed into Despicable Me stuff. But
Yeah.
you know,
That was a good movie too. Yeah, I like that.
oh
I mean,
yeah,
all those movies were good. My kids loved them too. And
yeah, and they're not like just kiddie movies. Like
no,
there's
they're
enough content in it that
mhm.
is, you know, that it that that's and that's how you know it's a good family full all around
Uh-huh.
cartoon that's
Yeah.
entertaining, that's going to be good. Is it's not patronizing. Like I couldn't watch Dora. I
Yeah.
remember him watching Dora and Diego and all that stuff, and Blue's Clues. you know
I watched all of those things. I mean, it was just my kid, sitting there with my kids.
Yeah.
That is what our family time is, sitting there and watching things that at least three-fourths of us will watch. There'll always be one that, oh, I don't watch that, but she'll still sit there, or I'll sit there and they'll watch or whatever. And it's, yeah, the four of us, my wife and my two daughters and myself, we sit in a room and something's on the TV, and some portion of us are watching that show. My wife and my younger daughter just finished watching The Judge. Um, you know, that's what the guy Michael Cranston, or the guy that was in
Oh, that was in
Breaking Bad, right?
Breaking Bad. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, which I never watched actually, but
Better Call Saul came to my mind first, but yeah,
yeah,
Breaking Bad.
yeah, but Breaking Bad, yeah, he was the guy. I guess the main guy in Breaking Bad.
He's got hair
Um,
now, right?
Yeah, yes, yeah, he
Yeah.
had hair and a beard. My wife was like, I can't watch him with
You
the
can't
beard anymore.
recognize him.
Why isn't he shaved? Why is that? Oh no, she didn't never knew him from the other show either. But the beard just annoyed her. She was like, why is he like this? He's out of prison. Why doesn't he just shave that beard? He looks terrible with a beard. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I just stopped shaving. I went on vacation when I was working
Mm,
at Universal,
yeah.
and so I just stopped shaving because you couldn't be in that in between look,
Hmm.
and I had short hair again at that point, so because they were big on that then. Um, we went up to DC, and oh, that was a great trip. There's never enough. Yeah, I know. I read
Yeah.
that comment.
Hey,
And
listen, if you're coming on to this channel, the last thing you would have been expecting to hear is the
right
two of us talking about
about Bear in the
child
Big Blue
concerts.
House and Dora the
But, yeah,
Explorer and
hey, this is definitely unscripted and unchained,
off the chain. We're
and
off the chain at
off
this
the chain,
point.
and we just went into 15 different directions in the span of 5 minutes, and absolutely enjoying it. So
Yeah.
you know,
You're going to this the ShireCon. Did you
yes,
see my comment on I think it was in one of the live streams I was kind of commenting. I don't know if it was like Flint Fire Forge or Tenkar or I don't know. They're doing like TriCast now sometimes for the vlog of many things. Wizard
right, right,
Titan,
right,
Don Samora. Yeah.
yes,
I think they were talking to the guy that does ShireCon. He's a firefighter, right?
yeah, Tom,
He's Tom,
yeah,
yeah. And I guess he also has a Kickstarter out
yes,
now,
he
or
does,
just
yeah,
actually it just ended. It ended that day because I went ahead
yes,
and jumped in on it. And um, yeah, he seems like a great guy. I
he
don't want.
is.
I'd like to talk to him at some point too. Like to have a panel discussion with some of these guys about these small cons. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think? 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 I've been talking to Jason from Sci-Fi from ETV.
Mhm.
I'm one of his mods, and obviously you've seen some of the videos that
Right.
I've been on. Yeah. Usually anytime there's a tabletop stuff, I get pulled into that.
Yeah.
But been like, man, we need to have a panel discussion on these mini cons, because I think they are the way the I've heard a lot of things from different, like, vendors say they do better at the mini cons
Yes.
because it's a focused market,
Mhm.
and it's affordable,
Yeah.
for them. They're not having to pay. I don't even want to know what it costs for a booth at Gen Con. I'm sure it's in
Yeah.
the thousands.
Yeah, no,
And
it's like typically at a smaller con, it's like $100 to $150 for a table.
yeah, and that's what I saw. I think
Mhm.
I went to this Rocky Top Con.
Thank you so much. Ear Trumpet has been struck by lightning. Thank you very much. And look, uh, Peace Chanter has received that
Look at that.
free membership.
Sweet.
So that's like one of the first times that I've seen somebody who was actually in the chat actually get it. It's usually somebody who hasn't even, been around for a while. And so, yes. So listen, listen,
Here,
Peace
I'll
Chanter, that allows you to come onto my Discord channel, and you can play in any of my upcoming games or whatever. If there's a game system that I have that you would like me to run for you, we will work out a time, and I will run it for you, either yourself or a group of your friends, or you can join in a group of, that I put together for it, or whatever. But yes, membership, even ones that are freely given, does have its privileges on my channel. So
I'll throw my 99 cents in.
yes.
It's
So
not a bad deal.
oh, and you became a member as well.
Yeah.
So thank
Well,
you
why not?
very much for that. And that gives you all of those perks that I just
See, look at
mentioned.
that.
So just like that, it's for, yes. So for as little as 99 cents, you can
for about a third the
enjoy.
price of a cup of coffee.
Yes, for
These
less than the
days.
price. If you could find coffee for, I think a K cup is about 99 cents, right?
Yeah.
So if you can find that, and then look, where else are you going to talk about Barney concerts
I know, right?
like that? You're just not getting this stuff at
No.
at D&D Beyond. I'm just
No.
telling you. So,
See, I knew I would find a place to spend that canceled master tier membership that I had from the very almost beginning of D&D Beyond until the OGL
Yeah.
scandal.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so I saw your comment about that when you said, yeah, I got rid of everything, and you were a virtual book burner. Just so you know, just in case like you, I don't know if you're familiar with that
Fahrenheit
rant.
451 or
Yes, yes. You became part of like the second wave of the satanic panic, and you're a virtual book burner, and
I remember the satanic panic.
D&D begun. Yeah, I know you weren't old enough for it. D&D be gone.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, and
I haven't heard that term, but I'm gonna have to use
D&D
that
be
one.
gone.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like that. That's
Yes.
creative.
Well, I was saying that what I was says I was saying, because when they were saying one D&D, right, or
Mhm.
and I was saying no, it's done D&D.
Oh
All
yeah,
right, or
I've
it's
seen
just
that one.
Dundee, because they pretty much killed it, for many of us at that time. Thank you again for another granted membership, and this person, if Esteban Vasquez is online, you can thank My Ear Trumpet has been struck by lightning for that free membership as well. So I got to play with both you jerks. Yeah, so I got to play with both of you jerks. Yes, you definitely have to join us. I'm sure that you're, from watching your just mannerisms and everything on your channel, Peace Chanter, that yeah, you'd probably be a lot of fun to play.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I still don't get the whole rabbit hole thing that he was doing there. I'll have to talk to him on that.
Yeah. So let's see, Death Stalker 5. Did that? You know what? I was is the dude's nickname. He was a solo YouTube channel, but mainly just gets around his monthly membership vids these days.
Oh,
I don't. Now I'm confused. I don't know where that comes from. Like where that comment. Joke is, I'm already a member as Blueberry. All right. So
yeah.
yeah. All right. So I
So
don't know
now
what
he's on there
his preference
twice.
is.
So look at that. You're double dipping there.
Yes. Yeah.
Good for
So
you.
I appreciate that for the double dip. And Deathstalker 5. They made 5 Deathstalker movies.
Did they really? I don't think I saw the first one.
I saw the first one, definitely. Maybe even the second. I didn't even know that it was
When
a
did it come
third.
out? Hmm.
80s. 80s.
Really?
That was
Maybe
the
I did
wave
see
of
it.
80s, the 80s sword and sorcery.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Yes.
probably have seen it then. They made 5
Yeah.
of them.
I don't know if they made 5. Well, they must have, I guess. Okay. Hey, Mirador, how's it going? Mirador is one of my longest surviving players in any of my campaigns. So, Mirador,
Longest surviving, huh?
yes, longest surviving. So he is still with me after we're probably pushing 4 years now.
Wow.
Maybe even longer, slightly longer than 4 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, geez, when did that? He might have been with me for since 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mirador.
Wow.
So it might be longer. I forget when I did my first D&D BECME campaign and whether or not it was Mirador or another player that was in that with us. But then he was in right from the get-go of my AD&D first edition campaign that started early 2023 or late 2022.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So he's been
Well,
with me for at least 2022, early 2022.
well, I was supposed to do. I think I told you this uh, in the chat we were having that I was supposed to do have an in real life game, but everybody backed out at the last minute
Oh,
today.
all right.
Kind of bummed me out. I cleaned the basement area, the gaming area. I walked in when I said I should jump on with him. I was waiting. I had to make more tea. I was waiting for the
Yes.
tea to brew. I was standing upstairs going, hurry up, tea, so I can go downstairs. And I walked in and I was like, oh yeah, that's what I was doing until 7 a.m. this morning. Yeah, I was like, whoa, it's clean, you know.
Yeah.
And I really did. I was cleaning until about 7 or so. I was
Mhm.
streaming one of the local rock stations until they started playing, Sunday morning at 6 a.m. or whatever, they start playing retrospective or one of those on the rock metal station, they start playing like the talk, whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna have to stop listening to that. Let's go to Iron Maiden channel, you know. And then it got on a Guns N' Roses tangent and played like most of the Guns N' Roses tunes while I'm sitting there vacuuming and sweeping and you know.
Okay,
Mm.
so Deathstalker 5 was the handle, and Random Encounter Show is his channel. Lightning and I were both channel members for 5,000 years.
5,000 years.
Yes.
Wow. 5,000 years, man.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
like the Elrond line, right?
I
I was
yeah,
there
I was there,
3,000 years ago.
right? I mean, I'm pretty sure that he and I are pretty close if I'm not older than him. So I keep on looking and I'm like, when can I retire? I'll be dead then, you know.
Yes, this is the channel that you all want to go to. You want to go to Blueberry Wolf Bridge. No intro RPG. If you just put in Blueberry Wolf Bridge, you'll find it as well.
Yeah,
And yes, I highly recommend it.
I follow him. He's
Definitely
good.
check him out. He is he is a very interesting listen, and I enjoy his takes on things, even when we disagree.
I was
So
gonna say,
yeah.
the same thing. You know, he and
Mhm.
I know don't agree on a lot of stuff, but at least he's not the type of person that will just like disagree with you and then stop talking to you.
Yeah,
And
no, if
we
it
need more of
it's
that.
and it's never like personally negative or anything like that either.
Right.
You know, um, it's
Because that's to be
just
honest, one of the
disagreements,
reasons
which is fine. Yeah,
going back to Facebook, that's why I don't post much on Facebook anymore.
yeah,
Because a lot of the people that I gamed with, that I were friends with since high school, you know, all they want to do is
crazy.
get into political arguments, and I'm like,
Yeah, no,
look,
it's
I don't, you know, I'm not going to change my opinions. I'm 52
mm,
years old. You're not going to convince me.
yeah.
Uh-huh. But you know, I don't, you know, I don't, I haven't blocked anybody, but I'm sure I've been blocked by a bunch.
Oh, I know I've been blocked by many, many.
Yeah.
Uh, the My blockers are legion. Right? It's
Are
like
they?
that. I certainly expect that I am blocked by many. I probably have. Well, on Facebook, there's quite a few more on Facebook than I do on YouTube,
Yeah.
for certain. Because on Facebook, I was running into a lot of people who are very anti U.S. military veterans, and that's a quick ban for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, you know what? It's like, and that's not even recent. I mean, that's going back to when George W. Bush was president,
Yeah.
and they were attacking. So that's going back to like the earliest days of that, and
Right.
basically amounted to, oh well, if they're fighting in Iraq or Afghanistan, they're nothing but baby killers, like we called them during Vietnam.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, that's going to get a ban from me, you
Well,
know.
and
And
my uncle fought was a what was he? He was in the Air Force, but he was one of the guys. He was a paramedic, so he was
mhm,
one of the guys that used to swing from a chopper, going
right,
down under fire. He was a swinging target,
yeah,
he liked to say. That they would go in and pull guys out for medevacing them out of combat.
hmm
So I have like my brother retired is a retired master sergeant, and he really is a real was a real master sergeant,
yeah,
retired master
oh
sergeant.
yeah, yeah, ooh, yeah,
And he was livid
yeah,
about that one guy
yeah.
trying to claim,
Well, no,
um,
it was more than a master sergeant. He was a master sergeant. He tried to claim that he was a
he was
command sergeant
he,
major,
right, and
which
he's
is
like, I didn't want to do that because I would have had to sign up again for like 2 more years. Is
yeah,
what he
yeah,
said,
yeah.
and not be able to retire for an additional 2 years. He's like, nah, screw that. but some people just use it. You try to use stuff for political gains. And my brother was active duty. He was full time.
Right,
He wasn't he wasn't reserve.
right,
He was full time army. He served. He was stationed in Germany at one point in time, and you know all that stuff. So,
yeah.
but
I wonder if that animosity within the service has changed, because I know when I joined in 1990, and everyone at that time we were joining for active, but with the high
the cuts,
anticipation that your active duty time was not going to last as long as what they signed you up for, or you signed up for, right? Because I signed up for 2 years of
right,
active, and then the rest was supposed to be, it was 2 years active, 4 years reserves, and then 2 years inactive. So eight
right,
year enlistment, and it was after like 7 months they were because Desert Storm finished up so fast. It was
right.
like, um who would like to, because at the same time they were looking to downsize,
Well,
you
yeah,
know what
and that
I'm saying?
happened. So,
Right, and so it was like, all right, so I was given the offer, and I regret it now, because I would have gotten much more military time attached to my teaching time. That's kind of a long
Oh
story,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, we were able to buy that time and integrate it into our, our service time as a teacher. Um, but so all I did was I shifted from active to reserves earlier, but I remained active in the reserve unit. So it's this and it's that, all at the same time.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, well, that's why I transferred from active to reserve. I didn't separate from active to go to reserve. It was like kind of a weird thing. But anyway, um, at the time when I was in basic training and everything, there was definitely a different way that each of the potential segments of the U.S. Army were treating each other. Everybody
Right.
knew who was active, and we were the cream of the crop. Let's say, not even potentially the best of the crop, but certainly treated that way. And
Yeah.
then they were like, "Oh, you're just going to be a reservist when you get through your training and everything like that." It doesn't matter that we're all deploying to fucking Iraq. It was just
Right.
you're going to be a reservist when all is said and done, and the nasty guard over there, which is what we used to call the National Guard, was
Hmm.
you're going to be even less, relevant once all is said and done and everything. And the roles definitely got changed around. I mean, National Guard ended up being deployed longer than,
Oh yeah.
certainly longer than reservists in some cases. It really depended on MOS and all that stuff. But it was crazy. It was like, so I wonder if today they still have that same, level of looking at, the three different, I don't even know what you call them, the three
Yeah.
different divisions.
Because you have the National Guard,
Yeah, you have
you have the
reserves. You have
reserve, and
people
then you
that
have
go in
active.
specifically to be National Guard, specifically to be reserves, specifically to be active duty. But you're all active duty for the first basic training and advanced
Right.
training. You might have advanced training that lasts 6 months, or longer, a year, depending on your MOS, and so you're freaking active for all of that time anyway. So
Yeah.
not much of a differentiation between them.
Well, when he wound up getting stationed uh as active, but for a National Guard post,
Hmm.
and basically he was in charge of all the equipment, and he had a bunch of guys that were reservists. But then they started deploying his guys, and they took all of his equipment, so he was basically sitting in the empty building trying to figure out how to push paper for 8 hours a day.
Right.
And they wouldn't take him, so he was like,
Well, yeah. I mean, I was logistics. When you were deployed, and then we're starting to cycle. We're starting to cycle people back now, and we need logistics people on the back end.
yeah,
Now. So, do you want to go back early? Sure, why not? It's like if if it was a done deal there, and it was 126 degrees out in the shade, I was like, fuck yeah, I'll go home. You know,
right,
I can do the same job on that end, and be sitting on Long Island, on Long Island instead.
yeah,
And so that's the choice that I made. Then all of a sudden it was like, bang, your unit's being disbanded. Okay. Find a reserve unit to go to now. All right. That works out too, and it was just that kind of a
yeah. Well, he finally got tired
separation
of
and everything. But anyway,
he got tired of it and
let's get
retired.
back to gaming.
Yeah,
So yeah, so that's why I'm so excited about getting back into this here and doing some comrades free fire zone and doing some gaming set in modern warfare. Bring me
is that the
back
one that
to
is
say
that the one
again?
they I was gonna say, is that the one that they just came out with,
Yes,
or okay,
yes. So this is written by Davis and Stephen Chenault with
okay,
contributions by Dakota McMurray. So, and Dakota was just talking
Oh,
about this.
is that the one
Um,
Dakota was saying? I got my name in
yes,
one
yes, this is
finally.
the
I got
one.
a writing credit.
And he said he was going to tear mine. And I says, nope, I think it's already shipped, and it arrived the very next day. I was like, nope, you're not going to tear mine,
Yeah.
by the time you get it. And, but he was like, yeah. So it was like, yep, it's on the way. So that's going to give me like real Twilight 2000 nostalgia,
Ha- ha-
going through that and using the Siege engine to, recapture that. And I even said in my video this morning, I was like, I'm going to definitely take some of the scenarios, at least from Twilight 2000, and convert them, and do that, as a way of, because I was looking for amazing adventures in a setting that I could really, connect to,
Mhm.
because the last time I ran a Amazing Adventures campaign, it literally collapsed in on itself. I lost track of where it was going. I think some of my players disconnected. None of us were feeling it, and it's because I
Mhm.
did I just tried to throw in too many different genres into one. It was like eldritch horror. It was supers. It was this. It was that, and kind of
Yeah. You muddy the waters sometimes when you start
yeah,
mixing too
just
much.
kind of trying to tie this all together in a very sandboxy, fluid way, and it did not come together.
Yeah.
Um, it had some aspects of it that were like, had me scratching my head. It's like, how am I going to tie this into something that's cohesive? And I was like, nope, it was just my screw up. With a multi-genre, that's one of the pitfalls I think of running a multi-genre game system, whether it's GURPS or Amazing Adventures and everything, is that you as the game master, you can end up trying to do too many things at once with it, and so that's a pitfall I think is unique with
It
a
loses
multi-genre
focus.
game.
Yeah, it loses focus.
Yeah,
And there's just too much going on, too many places. I could see that.
yeah.
Did you ever play Shadowrun?
Not the role-playing game, no.
No.
Not the.
Okay.
I've played it on the. I played
The
the
computer
video
game
game,
on
obviously. Yeah,
Steam, the one
yeah,
from Steam. Yeah. I keep meaning to get that. We played the heck out of that. Early 90s.
I heard
And
the game system itself sucks. I mean, quite a few people have said
I
the
mean, I
game
don't remember
is
the
not
game
strong.
system.
The
I remember the
world is
games,
awesome.
you know.
Yeah, the world is awesome, but the game system sucks.
Yeah.
At least that's what's been said to me.
Cuz I wanted to run like I wanted to run Cyberpunk 2020.
Yeah,
That was out. Of course, like I said, that was still 30 years in the future, not 5 years in the past.
yeah,
At the time.
yeah,
And um I was kind of big on that, and then they're like, "Oh, we want to play Shadowrun." So we're like, "Okay." We kind of hybridized it,
hmm,
and we took a lot of the content from Shadowrun or from Cyberpunk and threw it in Shadowrun. Because I mean, it's the only difference is it's all like
yeah,
it's all just cyber stuff,
yeah.
all the weapons and stuff like that, and so we just converted it over. But I really don't remember the playing. I don't remember the system itself. I
Hmm,
remember the games.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
and for people who don't know that haven't been gaming, I remember games. Yeah, early 90s.
Yeah.
See, there you go. I remember games like they're a memory of my own.
Hmm.
I remember what happened. Oh yeah, you remember, and so did this to that, and I mean they've done studies on that stuff and
Yeah.
shown that it that's the difference is it's actually is in that part of your brain where you store memories as
Mhm.
opposed to when you read a book, and that's the big difference
Right.
between
Yeah.
reading a book, watching a movie, or playing a tabletop role playing
Well,
game.
because it's cooperative. You're not reading
Right,
a book with a group of friends. I mean,
right.
even if you're reading a book, like in a reading circle kind of thing, and you come back every week and you're talking and you're discussing it and doing that kind of thing, you're still not reading the book simultaneously. You're not,
Right.
you're not interacting with each other and getting and altering what you're experiencing based on your conversations or what your actions are during the course of reading the book.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if actors in a play, like a stage play, would be their recollections would be similar.
well, only if they're, I mean, you always hear about the ones, especially those that are, considered to be like, at the top of their game and everything. They ad lib a lot of stuff. They go off script.
Yeah.
They go off the cuff, and they end up keeping those things in a lot of times because they're far more, and basically they're jumping off script, and they're going off script, and that's kind of the closest thing.
While on stage.
Yeah, sometimes on, I mean, it's more so in movies than it is on stage itself. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure that they have some of those. Some people are out of control. It's like, if Robin Williams is on stage, you cannot expect him to stay on script.
Oh, no. Well,
You know
Robin Williams didn't do anything scripted.
Yeah. Hey, Paul, how's it going?
I heard Shadowrun, so I came running as fast as I could.
There you go.
I heard them mention Shadowrun. I have the box set. The only thing I have is the box set, and it's sitting on my shelf, and I haven't gotten to covering that shelf yet. So I will eventually, in the next weeks or months, at one point get down to and say, oh, this is my my copy of Shadowrun. Never played it. Barely read it, and here it is, and then it'll probably prompt me into, well, let me start reading this darn thing and start reviewing a game that's probably 15 years old. The version I have of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say box set. I'm trying to think of what edition had a box set. It must be must have been one of the recent ones.
It's probably a
mine
recent
was
one.
paperback.
Looking for it. Where the heck are you? Oh, here it is. So this is the beginner's box.
Beginner box. Huh.
Yes. So this came out.
I think that's 5th edition.
Is it?
Looks like it.
Let's see. I literally have not looked at this in probably over a year.
Because I know the 6th edition has like that horrible modern color scheme of like fuchsia and neon blue and all that. It just it looks ugly, and I hear it plays ugly. So
yeah, this is 5th edition.
Yeah.
5th edition. So the 5th edition, and let's see if we have any kind of a date on this as to when this came out.
Strength does nothing and armor doesn't help. That's the controversy with 6E, apparently. That's according to our AI overlords.
Oh, Lord.
So quick start rules, Catalyst Games, and
yeah, 5th edition if it's Catalyst.
Yeah,
that's the start of the dark times. That company's terrible.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, they're just bad at everything they do.
I'm looking
at it's bad in every way, in every possible way.
In every possible way.
I'm looking at Shadowruns6thworld.com, and I can already see why it's problematic for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I can imagine it in my mind's eye. What you're looking at right now.
You won't be able to get it out of your head.
Yeah,
I can't find any indication of when this was written, but I'm sure somebody.
It's very modern comic era.
Yeah, doesn't anyone ever put on, they put copyright dates on anything anymore?
It should be in the title page in the front.
Usually professionals do that.
Yeah.
Roller does in every page, every book.
So far, I have looked at 3 books, and not one of them has when the freaking thing was.
Do they not have an ISBN number on any of them?
Nope, nothing on the back of this. Nothing on the back
of
the
title page.
Yeah, it should be on the
Um,
inside front page.
Yeah, with an ISBN, a Library of Congress number, and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, that's on the box, right?
The whole
That's on the
box?
box itself. So
So they gave the whole box to the Library of Congress, huh?
let's see. Yeah, so here is the ISBN,
Yeah.
and how do you read these things to know what year it is? 1999.
One of them looks like Ellen, Paul,
Yeah,
with pink hair.
Oh no! Yeah,
it
I'm
doesn't say.
serious.
now I'm gonna have to look at it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have no idea
Tell
when.
me what you think.
Oh wait, there it is. It is. Wait, let's see. Copyright. Holy shit! You cannot. Almost made it out.
You need a
20
magnifying glass.
Is this 2020? It can't be 2024. I think it's 2014.
Yeah, that sounds
That would
about
make
right.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, let me see.
Not that anything's wrong with Ellen. You have to put the asterisk in there.
Is this that Shadowrun Excommunication? Is that the banner you're looking at?
No.
No, it's like it's at the top of the. It's got like 20 different names. Oh, look, Matt Mercer's listed on it too.
Matt Mercer is the wizard. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Turn on light.
I don't hate Matt, I swear. I don't enjoy watching him run. He's not.
This is all the same names that I see all the time. Rem Alternus, Jason Charles Miller, all these people that they're like, hey, this guy's going to be role playing, and it's like, why should I care?
This is 2014. It took that long to find. Like to be able to actually read it because they made it so small.
Oh God, did you ever play any BattleTech, Death Angel?
I did not. I had friends that did, and I mean, other than playing like, wasn't there a BattleTech video game or two?
Oh yeah, a whole bunch. Mech Warrior, all that stuff.
Well, I played all the. I played like Mech Warrior, Mech Warrior 2, 3, 4.
Mirador's mentioning it. The big release that the Catalyst had was BattleTech Gothic. They realized like, hey, we've got BattleTech. Why don't we do a multiverse type of thing? So BattleTech Gothic is like almost like 40K mixed with BattleTech. It's like the least creative thing they could manage. They just squoze it out, and they're pushing it like they just came up with like the best thing since sliced bread.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Well, that was a disaster. Trying to figure.
That's all right.
Put the box back together again.
We were vamping for you. Don't worry.
It was like that thing hasn't been unpacked since 2014.
Yeah.
Hey, but what? We could talk about that.
Yeah. Yes, I have that, and I will be digging through that a little bit more, and getting ready to that. I've already done like 3 videos on that in like the past week, so I got to move on and cover some other stuff.
Are you gonna be covering what do you? Because are you gonna do like a series on the starter set? Because you did the character creation.
I started doing character creation. That was the last one I did. And I showed how, rolling up 2 characters at one shot, like
I loved that idea. I don't know if you saw my comment.
I did.
I was like, mind blown. Never thought of doing that. I'm like, because and I'll tell you, since I've been playing D&D, we've always done 46 drop the lowest, automatic reroll on ones.
Right. Yeah, I've done the same thing.
That's been our house rule
for
for like 25 years.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking that's probably the way I'll CK the game too.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to do something that would be a little bit more streamlined for convention play. And I was like,
Right.
you know what? If I'm going to have players roll up a character, I'll have them roll up the same 3d6 6 times, and use one set, roll in order, and the other set place as they desire. And what's the best character? They would roll in order. And then what's the character they really want to play with those same stats? And then they have both characters, and they'll choose which one I'm going to start with and which one will be my backup.
Yeah. And that's a great idea. It's so simple, and I'm like, why did I never think of that?
I had never thought of it until until preparing to just make that video. So
Really?
something.
so see.
Yeah, no, it's not like something I've been DMing for so freaking long, and it's just like you never stop learning. You know, you never
Yeah.
stop, discovering new tricks and new things. And I was like, I had that one good dice roll that was on the table already, and I was like, I should keep that 13. I says, but I want to be as genuine as possible,
Yeah.
and so when I, if Paul wasn't there for it, I rolled a 17, a 12, a 7, a 14, a 7, and a 9. Well, 2 sevens is usually like, oh shit, these are really low numbers, and the highest roll, the 17 is a pretty significant roll.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I rolled a 17. That's probably going to be a fighter, until I came across the 7 con, and I was like, oh shit, it's going to be a pretty weak fighter. And then I was like, well, at least let's make him a dwarf, so he'll have that +1 constitution bonus, and then super high intelligence for a fighter of 14, and then
Well, eight is average anyways, right?
yeah. Well, no, 8 is still a -1.
Is it? Okay, so it's 9 and 10.
Yeah, so 9, 10, and the 9 through 12 is a 0. Let me double check and make sure. I'm pretty sure 9 through 12 is 0, because I think the 8 is just on the upper end of still a -1. Let me double check.
But I mean, when you're looking at a NPC, an NPC would be probably an 8 to 10 anyways, on average.
Yeah. So an 8 is still a -1. So 9 through 12 is a 0.
Okay.
9 through 12 is considered average. And most like NPCs, like civilian NPCs or peasants or whatever, I'd probably put them at straight 9s across the board.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to have one that's kind of named and flesh them out a little bit, then I would probably just roll them, and do it that way. But the other thing I've been adopting is just the idea that player characters should be, in my opinion, they should be no more than 3 to 5% of the world population. And so when I look at, which will make a first level character pretty darn heroic, whether they have heroic stats or equipment or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They should be head and shoulders, beyond the average, the average NPC they're going to encounter.
Right.
And, when keeping that in mind, it was like, I look at like the world of Greyhawk, and the only, the high levels are all going to be, the kings and the queens, and the very highest, levels of everything. And then everybody else is either significantly lower, or not even leveled characters at all. And I kind of like that idea. I like that idea of having the, that way they don't have to be 5th or 6th or 7th level and still feel like, hey, I'm something really special here. It's like, it's like, no, you're, as a first level character, you're pretty much head and shoulders above, even if you don't have the stats that you feel. The fact that you'll have a couple that are +1 is pretty significant over the average person.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it works. We'll see how that works out, and take it from theory and move it to actual use in game, and see how that works out.
Yeah, Mirador was asking me about if I had a night, if I'm still planning on running CNC. I am planning on running it by hell or high water.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm looking to play, and my last CNC game that I played in as a player did not work out too well, and I think partly that is just I suffer from forever GM mentality, where it's like I kept on seeing it from a game master's perspective and saying, this is not really what, but I was not the only one.
Right.
That felt like that. It was like, no, it's like we're lost. We don't know how to move forward, and you're not helping us. And I was starting to get very chaotic neutral. With my through my character getting very chaotic neutral, and I was on the verge of just saying, if this freaking NPC is not going to help us, why am I keeping him alive? All right. I mean,
you were getting murder yes. hobo tendencies.
Oh yes, I was getting on the verge of and then we were looking to go and do this thing that we knew darn sure that none of us were going to survive.
Yeah.
And yet the game master still did not pick up on the hint that we were kind of done with this, and we wanted to. I was like, why don't we just go for it? And he was like, huh? I was like, read the fucking room. It's like, we're all frustrated. We don't know what to do next. You're not giving us any hints. None of the NPCs are helping us. Right. And I was so on the verge of just saying, if this NPC is not going to help us, then I don't see why we're keeping this NPC alive.
Was he a captured person, or was he was?
No, he was like a person that was a contact for us. And it was like, well, why are we assisting you in any way if you're not going to assist us in giving us a hint as to where we're? It was really just the DM was not, or Castle Keeper was just not reading the room. And it's like, no, we're all frustrated. I was like, listen, I don't care about this quest anymore. I says, let's go to a new region. We'll find a new group of people to assist, and go from there. Well, you didn't search out every nook and cranny of this freaking regional map. There were still portions of it, and it was like, we're not going to trudge for the next 10 freaking weeks covering all of this space to just end up with, and at the time we were still only, after how long were we playing? We were playing almost 10 months.
Really?
And we were
every week, or?
Yeah, every week.
Wow.
For 10 months.
And you hadn't gotten anywhere.
We were 3rd level. My character was 2nd level. It was like, because a lot of time, like if you got knocked unconscious, you didn't get any experience points for that session. All right. And I was like,
that's not.
And that went on. Like my character went at one point, because I started at 1st level when my first original character got killed. And so they were all 3rd level, and I was 1st level again. And I was like, we're fighting gnolls and I'm 1st level. All right. I get hit once or twice and I'm nearly dead. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and so if I get knocked unconscious, I'm not gaining any experience. I went like 4 weeks without gaining a single experience point, with it. And I was like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. It was just brutal. And
I don't think I'd be that bad of a DM.
Yeah. I was like, so I was like, dude, I was just like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And he was like, well, you weren't like fully engaged in this anyway. I was like,
you weren't. That's the job of the DM, GM.
Yeah, it was like, no, I couldn't stay focused on anything, because half the times that we did enter into combat, I was like, all right, I have to look for my exit strategy right away, because I'm fighting something that has 5 hit die and I have 12 hit points. What I'm saying? It's like
how many players in this group?
There was 3 players and then a whole bunch of NPCs, because the other players had left.
Were they what I'm saying? And the NPCs?
Huh?
DMPCs.
Yeah, there were
Mhm.
DMPCs, and as useful as they were, because otherwise we would have constantly we kept on praying for a group wipe the whole time. It
I mean,
was like if you're all just hoping to die, that's not a good, not a
So
good
you're
place.
so you're saying for like most of these fights, a third of the actual players, not characters, actual players, was unconscious, like you were knocked unconscious or out of
I
commission,
was,
and like the other
yeah,
two
because
were doing stuff.
like I said, my first character was just on the verge of becoming second level, and
Right.
then he was killed, and
Okay.
then he always brought in a new character at first level,
oh,
regardless of what everyone. So you never came in like one level below the average of the
yeah.
group. Nope, you came in
Right.
at
Right.
first again. So
Well,
you
then
came in.
that's not even that's not because the
No,
rest that's not fair because the rest of the group is going to be fighting stuff that
and
you're
that's
either
what
going to be useless.
I was literally fighting gnolls
Yeah,
Yeah.
at first
as a
level.
first level ranger. It's like,
Plink, you miss. Plink,
yeah,
you miss.
it's like, yeah, it's like I can't hit them, or if I do manage to hit them, I have to stay at bow range all the time because I always have to get ready to run,
Yeah.
and regardless of how many. So he eventually changed the thing where it's like, oh well, you'll get half the experience points, or you'll get the experience points from what you had accomplished up to that point. But then as soon as you're knocked unconscious, I said, all right, that at least makes some sense. I'm not asking for, you know, I'm not asking for experience that my character didn't earn. I'm asking for the experience that my character did. So he eventually changed that one rule, but just not letting us discover like where to go next was the most frustrating thing.
I mean, I'll give it to you.
And he just
I'll
didn't
give you
leave it alone.
credit. You stuck with it for 10 months.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think that would have lasted that long.
I would have been gone after 10 sessions.
yeah,
I'd
it
be
was a
like, nah, I'm
long
good.
time. Yeah, I was like, no, I
Yeah.
can't do
I
this
can't
anymore.
make it anymore.
Yeah,
Something came up. I'm never going to be around
Yeah.
to get my boat.
see, and I can't. I'm like, since I moved up to Tennessee, I've been begging everywhere, trying to get, and people's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do something, and then they cancel on me.
yeah,
Or it's like,
yeah. No, I just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it no more. So
what were you guys using? Was it using Roll20 or were you using Foundry or what type of?
yeah, we're using Roll20, but he didn't even use like and the other players weren't using Roll20, even the character sheets on Roll20. So it was like at least let us be able to see each other. Like, I mean, at least use that kind of stuff. We're rolling on the D20s on Roll20 instead of the character sheets, that do all of that math and everything for you. You know what I'm saying? So that really streamlines it as well.
Do you like it that way? I mean, I've done.
I like it that way. I when I DM,
I haven't used Foundry other than
no,
I've joined a Foundry session a
Foundry,
couple
the
times.
learning curve on Foundry is ridiculous.
I mean, no, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Roll20. I have Foundry. I have Foundry running on my own virtual private server in a data center up in New York. I mean, I'm a Linux guy, so that's what I do for a living is support Linux.
Yeah, so on Roll20, I use the character sheets. The character sheets let you put put your attributes in there and select them. This is my primary, this is my secondaries, or whatever. Just these are my primaries, and then you can put the weapon in there. You can put the damage ranges and all of that kind of stuff. You can put spell descriptions in there, and then once you hit, it'll say whether what you rolled, and then if you hit the target, then you just hit the it'll say the weapon, and then it's plus or minus for the damage, and you click on that. If you roll the critical, it will automatically double the damage when you roll it. It'll roll 2 damage die when you roll it for a crit, for the basic option of hitting a critical and everything. So some of the thing now I don't use, the lighting or any kind of stuff like that. I use the reveal for
I spent it when I was getting into doing Foundry and before I did the Foundry, and I was an early adopter of Foundry. I don't know what it's going for now, but you can't beat it $50 for life. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, and you can run it on your PC, or you can run it on a virtual server, or you can run it on a hosted server. You know,
my struggle with it is that I can't figure out how you utilize the portal. Is like impossible to figure out how to create a portal, join a portal.
You can always talk to me about that.
Yeah, it's a tough.
I need to get back up to speed, but like I was the last Foundry was the last thing I was running in. I told you what happened to my roommate, well, ex-roommate player.
Right.
He passed away during the pandemic, not from the pandemic, but he passed away, and I haven't run a game since, and I hadn't played a game until I was in that Patreon game with Chuck.
Right.
I mean, that's been that long, and I grew up in Central Florida, so I know everybody. I know all kinds of people. I could go, hey, let's game, and not a problem. Well, now I live in East Tennessee in the rural area, and I'm like, does anybody game around here? Does anybody game? I got a whole basement. I bought a house with the basement so that I can make a gaming tavern out of it. And then they keep on canceling on me, and I'm like,
it's tougher post-COVID too. Like, you mostly have to do stuff VTT, so it sucks.
And I'm a traditionalist. I mean, I don't. It's okay. When I was in Florida,
I'll be back in a second.
Yep.
Yeah. When I was in Florida, that buddy of mine moved up to Tennessee and bought a place up here, and he was one of the players in my session. So I had to come up with. I was just using a VTT. I can't remember what the name of it is. Map something or other. Map.
I know, but they're giving me money.
But he didn't mute himself.
Yeah,
we'll just cover him up.
Cover up whatever serious family issues are happening.
Yeah.
So VTTs. Yeah.
But I had one of the free ones that was an open source one, supposedly. And that was really good. I started getting into the coding, and I actually wrote some scripts and all that to do combat calculations and stuff like that, because it wasn't built in.
Right.
And then Foundry came out, and I had looked at Roll20, and I didn't like their attitude that they took with some of the YouTubers that looked a lot like me. They're like, oh no, we have enough of those people.
Well, I forget when they said that,
and that's when I'm like, nope, not gonna use their product, and they're owned by the same people who own DriveThruRPG.
Right.
They're I can't remember. I have to Google it every time. It's got the word wolf in it.
Right.
Not Blueberry Wolf. That's somebody totally different. But we like him. But I think it was Cody from Taking 20, wasn't it? Was he one of them? And there was a couple of them. If you do remember Cody from Taking 20?
No, I
he just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
I vaguely remember Taking 20.
He was like this red-haired, a big guy, and he did a lot of informative videos, and I think he had some personal, real life issues and stuff like how it is.
Right.
Stuff comes up, and every hobby I've had, there's been waves where you kind of go in and out, ham radio or gaming or whatever, there's periods where you just kind of fall out of it. But yeah, that was my big thing, why I didn't start using Roll20. And then there was another YouTuber buddy of mine who, Digital DM. He did pass away, I believe, from the pandemic, kind of unexpectedly, which is kind of shame. But he was working for, what's the really expensive one? Fantasy Grounds, right?
Yeah.
He actually worked for Fantasy Grounds at that point. He was so into it that he was actually working on, official an official employee of them. Even moved to Texas and all kinds of stuff. And I had looked at that, but I'm like, man, that's just so expensive. And if you want, it was out of my budget. And I'm a diehard book buyer.
Mm-hmm.
PDFs are cute. They're great for searching, but I want to read a book.
Yeah, I like the physical copy as well.
That tactile,
mm-hmm.
It's a different thing. So,
yeah, I think it might be a getting older thing too. But with PDFs, it's like I just want to read the book. I don't want to read it through a flashlight, like where it's just constantly staring at a screen, blasting me in the face. I index things faster with.
I like the PDFs from like when I'm running it online. Obviously,
yeah,
I like having both, and I utilize both.
Well, Control F is your friend. I mean, when you're on a PC, you're like, I know there's a rule here because I read it in the book, and you type in a keyword, and you're like, yep, there it is.
Yeah,
so it's great for that. So reference, it's awesome.
Yeah,
but for enjoyment reading. And for the comprehension stuff.
Oh no.
Give me a book, a physical book, and I'm happy. So
that's why I always try, anytime I have the opportunity to buy something that's the, physical plus the PDF, I get it that way.
Me too. And that's my thing. I will always order print plus PDF. Even if it's available, print on demand, that's great. Then I will get the print on demand and have the PDF. Rob Conley.
I would never do something like D&D Beyond where they have your digital copy of everything.
Yeah.
And they can revoke that at any time.
Yeah. My account is still
reason whatsoever.
My account's still active, and I do still look up stuff because I have access to. I had the master tier sub, but I also had like everything.
Mm-hmm.
I had gotten a code for everything at one time. Now, of course, more stuff came out, and then that code didn't include the new stuff. So I had bought stuff additional. So I still have all my 5th edition books.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't like when I heard that they had just automatically said taking away the 2014 stuff and said, no, we're using this now, and it's like, that wasn't good.
I don't have any of my physical copies, 5th edition stuff. I gave it all to my niece, but I do have all of the 5th edition in PDF from the Trove. So it's like, yep, I have it there.
I've never heard of that place before.
Yeah, it's been that long, but I was like, I have no problem with it whatsoever.
And all the 3rd edition and 2nd edition and 1st edition.
Well, everything that I have in physical, I have in, virtually everything I have in physical, I have in PDF. And to me, it's like, now the stuff from companies that I truly respect, or companies that do provide, access to their stuff in physical, I buy it physical.
Oh yeah.
But I'll also get a backup of PDF because I just like using PDFs while I'm running a game online. And if they don't pair them up, or they don't have, both, or both are out of print regardless, you can't get the book because it's out of print, then I will find it, they have archive sites and everything like that too. So you can find this stuff on archive sites, and it doesn't quite load up like it's a regular PDF. You got to flip the pages through, and it goes it does the graphic of flipping through the pages.
It's a graphic page as opposed to text with graphics on it.
Correct.
Yeah. You can't do the Control F thing. You got to look at the index and manually look. But
the indexes are not hyperlinked on those either.
Right.
You have to flip.
Yeah. But that was one of the things. Like Goodman Games, I like the quality of their books. They were one of the first ones that I started buying. And, Joe Goodman and I probably disagree 180. We're probably diametrically opposed opinion wise, but their products are good.
Yes.
And I respect that. And as long as, we can disagree to disagree, whatever, but yeah, I get that. Trust me, I know. I send QSL cards to Australia,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
yes, some people do still use the mail. I'm old school. I like
Yeah.
physical confirmations for contacts. But one of the big things with the OAR series, which is almost all everything I have from Goodman Games is for 5th edition.
Yeah.
So, which I fully intend to use on in Castles and Crusades. I'm going to convert whatever I want.
Yeah.
I'm using it as source material. Of course, most of it has the original, 1st edition or 2nd edition, or sometimes both
Mhm.
printings in them, in the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah. That's like their version of the Lost City. I was like, wait, this thing is like 300 pages. I was like, the Lost City was like a 33-page module. I was like, how do
And
you
in
get?
all 33 pages are in there of the
Yeah,
original.
I was like, what? I was like, how do
Yeah.
you expand 33 pages into 300?
Well,
It's like,
and they give a history thing at the
yeah.
beginning too. There's a whole section about his, contributions from people talking about his, the historical,
Mhm.
playing it back in the 70s or the 80s or whenever it was that it came out. And I like it with pictures, from people from
Yeah,
real gaming sessions back in 1979 or, you know,
yeah.
and then they do their 5th edition and sometimes they'll add some
And they'll
expansion.
put it into the same thing, so you get two different editions at the same time. And
Yep.
you know, the other thing, because I looked, I was like, you know what, I hear so many people talking about like the Lost City is just such a great, I've been playing the Lost City or running the Lost City for 10 years. I was
Right.
like, like Professor Dungeon Master, ran it for, a decade or more,
Yeah.
with it. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of bang for your buck out of a 33-page module. I was like, I don't know how you could possibly. I said, so let me check out this thing. Let me try to get, and the Goodman Games one was like $200, on
Yeah.
eBay, because they don't print it themselves. They don't print it any longer. So it
Which
was like
which one is that? Dude, which number?
the
Is that
Lost,
number
the
is that
Lost
3
City.
or 4?
Not sure. I just looked at it the other day. I was
I
like,
have them sitting. I guess I could zoom in.
yeah, it's probably
I have them sitting
4.
over there.
I want to say it's 4.
Let's see.
You're gonna. Is it? I think it's 4.
Yes, I have them there on the
Yeah,
bookshelf.
I can't read that.
Let me see if I can expand it a little more.
It gets blurry as you expand it. It's the 4th one. It's purple.
The Lost City. Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go.
It's number 4. I was right. Look at that.
Yeah, I was right too. I said 4. I think. So it is. Yeah, it's like $200. I was like, I'm not paying for that. I said, there's no way. The original is a lot cheaper. I was like, I can get the original for like 40.
Did you try and get it on Amazon?
No, I didn't look on Amazon.
Because sometimes they'll still have some of their stuff in print on Amazon. You may not be able to order it from Goodman, but you can get it from.
Yeah.
Here. Never mind the mess over there. That's a work in progress.
Yeah. Anyway,
But
yeah. So it's.
I was thinking about running one of those though, and any of them under Castles and Crusades. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
that
it
would
should
be
be pretty easy. I printed out. I've in the box here.
cool. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Hold on now. Where is it? Ah. I have printed out because I like it in print.
Oh, Slaying the Dragon. Yeah.
Which is that's the how to convert stuff over to 5th edition.
Okay.
Yeah, or from 5th edition to CNC.
From 5th edition to.
Yeah, that's their PDF. It's not very big. I mean,
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, I like things in print, so I'm going to print it.
Yeah.
and I did. I mean, it basically kind of, yeah, there's some stuff that you kind of have to take into account with, but I mean, I could have printed double sided, but it's only like what, not even 12 pages. They don't even have page numbers on them. It's
Right.
probably 9 pages.
For like monsters and stuff like that, I just port them over. I really don't even worry that much about it. As long as as long as they're both using ascending armor class, you just port it over. Leave it the way it is.
And I think it even talks about that. The big thing is like if it gives you advantage or disadvantage, then you may have to give it a +3 to a +5 is what it kind of talks about in here.
I just ignore advantage, disadvantage in that case. If you know,
and it does go in there that alternatively you can just implement advantage and disadvantage in CNC if you want.
Yeah, but
you know?
No, I'll just say that it's it's primary in that case. This trade is going to use a primary, so they only need a 12 rather than an 18. That's how you build in advantage, disadvantage anyway.
Yeah, but I mean that PDF is available for free from Trollord. You can get it from their website.
Yeah.
So anybody that's interested. But that's my plans.
Cool. So I'm looking forward whenever you find a date. The only date I can't do is Tuesday. Because that's
you can or cannot.
Night. What's that?
You can or cannot.
I cannot do Tuesdays.
Okay.
And come September, Mondays becomes hard because I don't get home until around 8:30 on Mondays, and I'm wrecked. I mean, that's my one long day. But I'm going to be wide open on Thursdays and Fridays. I'm wide open, and obviously Sundays. The only thing I do is a live stream Sunday evenings. But Thursdays and Fridays are best for me, and I could do those all day. I'm free on those days.
Yeah, it might be like a Thursday or Friday would probably be where I'm.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Wednesdays. I do. I'm on a live stream every Wednesday night at 11, doing Babylon 5 retrospective.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So anybody that's into Babylon 5, let me know.
What's that? What streamer is that on?
That's Sci-Fi Snobs stream.
Oh, I don't. No. I'm saying what streaming service can you see Babylon 5 on?
No. So we are actually.
HBO.
I have the DVD box set.
Yeah, but I'm saying where could I find Babylon 5?
HBO. The HBO streaming service has it. Yeah.
Do they? What's the free one? Oh, there's a bunch of them now. It's on one of those too. It's on one of those. You can go buy the box set for like $50 at Walmart, and it's in Walmart. It's in DVD. It's not, but from what I understand, one of my buddies got the 4K version as well, and the problem with the 4K is it loses all the special features. It's like, oh, we can stick everything onto a couple of Blu-rays that we have on a whole bunch of DVDs.
Yeah.
But they cut all the special features and all the stuff that made it unique, as a box set. So, but yeah, I do that every Wednesday night at 11. And if you can watch it, we're in season 2. And what is the title of season 2? It's actually the what they call the titular episode, I guess, is next week, and I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be in Huntsville at a ham fest. So I'm like, maybe there's going to be. I know there's a bunch of YouTuber buddies of mine from the ham radio side that are going to be out there, and several of them have Starlinks. So I'm like, maybe I can jump on, But it's Huntsville, Alabama is only a 3-hour drive from my house. I'm in Tennessee, but it's 3 hours to Huntsville, 3 hours to Atlanta, 3 hours to Nashville. So it's pretty convenient. It's a little further to Cincinnati and to Asheville. I think Asheville is about 2.5, 3 hours as well. So I might go to Mythicon West. Charlotte's a little further. I know Chuck from Trollord is like, oh, you should go to this one and that one and this one, and I'm like, Okay, let me break into. I've only been to one con
Yeah.
for tabletop stuff, and that was here in Knoxville, and it was it was cute. There's an awful lot of Warhammer and Star Wars, but Tubi, thank you. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, Tubi.
Man of War. Great name, by the way. Man of War. Kings of Metal. Yeah. Love that. Any rate, I don't know if you caught the metalhead discussion.
Yes, yeah.
Earlier.
Yeah. Did you miss it?
But yeah, I would love to take that universe and play it in something like Traveler.
Yeah.
I have Traveler. I have the 2020. What was it? The
2022.
I have that one
as well, and I was looking to either run that or play that.
Me too. That's another one I want to do.
Yeah, that's another one I'd like to actually play.
And I have the other book, and then they can't. So I ordered the box set, the starter set or whatever for Traveler, and they shipped me one of the adventure box sets by mistake, and I called them up, and they're like, they apparently they had it on their shelf labeled, their little barcode sticker or whatever, so they just pulled whatever number matched, and they're like, oh well, we don't have that one in stock, you can send that back to us if you like. And I'm like, well, hell, I'll just keep this one. So I had to order it again. I finally get it when I found somebody who had it, because they were out of print. I think they had run out of print copies, and I finally got it. And then they said, "Oh, hey, look, we're coming out with the 2022." And I'm like, "Really?" So now I have both.
Right.
But I have never played it. It's not like any system I've ever played.
Right.
So, it's one of those things. I'm apprehensive to try and straight up start. I don't even know what they call the GM in that game.
Isn't it a referee?
It's probably a referee. It's pretty old school.
Yeah, I think it's old school referee.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's basically right on par with D&D as far as age, isn't it? I think it came out in 1974, first originally.
74, 75, yeah.
Yeah,
it's around there. Yeah, it's pretty.
It's right at 50, almost 50 years old.
Yeah, second edition came out in 81.
Yeah, so, and there's been 5 different companies that have printed it, but I've heard Mongoose is supposedly the best.
Yeah.
Game Designers Workshop started it, and then Mongoose is the current. I don't know how many.
There was actually 2 different companies at the same time producing both.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah, there's Mark Miller's Traveler, and he signed over pretty much everything to Mongoose in case anything happens, because he's old.
Well, that was recent, right?
Yeah, it was recent. That was within the last 2 years. He signed it over to, I think it was maybe last October. Yeah, he was like, in perpetuity, Mongoose can print Traveler, so we don't have to keep re-upping the contract.
Right.
That was good.
I like what West End Games did with Star Wars. They were basically like, we're just going to give it to the people. You can freely print it. You can freely write for it. You can freely create with it. They just like, boom,
Well, did they stop? Did they just kind of end?
Yeah. But they did not sell off the IP. They just freely gave it out. So you can go on their website and you can print out, you can copy the PDFs and you can print them on your own, and you can write adventures using them. You can, I'm assuming, publish adventures, for WEG, Star Wars. And there's no one that is currently holding the IP that cares if you're producing stuff with it.
Yeah.
There's like a new West End Games, kind of like FASA right now. There's a new FASA that's still doing Earth Dawn, but the new West End, they just launched their big flagship, I think, is Planet of the Apes, but they're using the old West End D6 system. Yeah. So there's somebody out there still giving it love. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to run Babylon 5 using any system, I am down. That was the show of the 90s for me. So
Oh, did you? By the way, we always have an open seat. We like to have what we call a guest co-host on with us, or
Oh yeah,
guest panelist.
there you
Yeah,
go.
I'm a regular panelist. So if you're up on a season, you know, like I said, I know some
Yep.
people. It's
Oh,
not
there
my
you go.
channel, but I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
him in.
Yeah, no
I know
worries. Well, you guys are about to get where it's getting good because season 3 was like that was all the way through perfect. So
Yeah,
I'll try to get caught up, and I'll find
it's really good.
where I have it on streamer and start watching it. And once I get caught up, then I'll look to pop on.
yeah.
I always try to lure people in too because a lot of the early episodes are written by Larry DiTilio, and I'm like, oh, did you ever play Call of Cthulhu? Did you ever hear Masks of Nyarlathotep? This guy wrote it, and he's a show writer for because he worked with JMS in I think for the She-Ra cartoon and a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of
Really?
TV shows. So, and it was like during a writer's strike, since they couldn't write for television or cinema. Larry DiTilio, I think, went to Chaosium and was like, what kind of work do you have for me? So he wrote some stuff for Pendragon, for Cthulhu, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Coming as Shadows. That's the title for season 2.
Yeah.
And that's also the episode that is coming out next Wednesday it's a streaming. Obviously you can watch it anywhere, a box set, you can watch any episode, but we're watching them in order. We started with the pilot, and we just did a Race Through Dark Places with Bester, and the guy everybody loves to hate, but they love him because of who plays him.
Yeah, the guy who plays Chekhov from the original Star Trek showed up, and he's given such a better role than he got on the entirety of Star Trek.
I know, is that terrible? Yeah. Other than the nuclear vessels.
Other than being pretty much a running joke of a character. Yeah.
But he plays Bester, man.
Yeah.
In fact, this was one of the comments I made on the live stream last Wednesday. I said, if I didn't already love Chekhov from Star Trek, the way he plays Bester is very much the way that the kid that played Joffrey in Game of Thrones, where you just wanted to throttle the kid.
Yeah.
You know, Bester's the same. I could feel that same kind of emotion with Bester.
Yeah, you know? It's rough too because it's like, when's he gonna get his comeuppance? And it's like, unfortunately, it happens in a book, and you're like, oh, you get to see it in the show.
The actor who played Joffrey actually left making,
did he?
Hollywood. Oh yeah,
and he was great. That's the problem.
Yeah, he just didn't.
He's a nice kid too.
Because nobody would let it go. Nobody would leave him alone. It was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah. So he kind of left it all together.
Maybe he'll come back. Maybe obviously, I mean, well, Babylon 5 proved like a lot of childhood actors could come back to sci-fi and fantasy years later.
Yeah.
I mean, you
yeah, because what was it, Billy Mooney from Lost in Space? Yeah. Will Robinson. He's actually a really good character.
And the funny thing is that was it Maureen Dowd? Is that her name?
Maureen Dowd?
The one who played his mom on Lost in Space, was that?
Oh no, not Maureen Dowd. That's
let's see.
That's a newscaster. Could be the same name actually, but I don't know.
I'm trying to think. Somebody's gonna know right here. Anyway, they were both in the same episode, so it was kind of a family reunion. But the taping schedule or the filming schedule for the episode was such that they never actually got to see each other at that time for that episode.
Oh, that sucks.
So I'm like, oh man. But yeah, June Lockhart, maybe I'm thinking.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, June Lockhart.
Yeah, Coming of Shadows, was that the one where what's his name shows up, Morden, for the first time?
What's that?
The episode Coming of Shadows. I'm trying to remember because there's the episode where Morden shows up. Well, you don't know what his name is.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't watched the show yet?
I haven't watched the episode yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm one of the guys that's a first watch for.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Because when it was on, I was 21 and I lived in Las Vegas.
Gotcha.
What do you think the last thing I was doing was?
I was gonna say, I was in middle school, so I was like, "This is awesome," but I was just watching everything.
I was 21 in Vegas. I was chasing around keto runners and cocktail.
Gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha. All right. Well,
Not that I ever caught him.
Sorry about the Bester reveal. Then my apologies.
No, we've seen Bester. Well, it's like inherently in doing a rewatch or first watch of a 30-year-old show.
Yep.
You're going to run into spoilers. We try not to spoil on the stream ourselves if we know, but there's like certain things like I know a particular character is not in the whole 5th season. And I was like, oh man, I didn't want to know that. I'm like, I like her. Sorry.
Right.
There's a lot of hers.
No, there's several, but no, I remember I was sitting at a dinner party and a buddy of mine, we were talking Babylon 5 and I just lent the DVDs to another couple and they were like, oh my God, we're so happy. And the one guy blurted out, I was like, yeah, it was a real shame what happened to so-and-so. And I was just like, what are you doing? Like, they're still watching. They are nowhere near there yet. But and he was just devastated. He was like, oh my God. Yeah.
But
good show though. It's well worth a watch.
It's if you're ever interested, we like I said, we try to rotate that. I call it the tail gunner seat.
There you go.
And we try and rotate people around. We don't always have somebody to jump in on it,
right?
But especially if you love Babylon 5, we're looking to get more people to watch. And we are adjacent with the, it's adjacent with the Sci-Fi for Me TV channel that I'm sure you've seen. Bloodworth has seen because I usually get pulled in to do the interviews. Like I got to interview Heidi and Eric Gygax Garland, and we got Stephen Chenault from Troll Lord. Hoping to have him on again sometime soon here. So Jason, that's his channel. He's one of the other regular panelists. So,
cool.
So it's the 4 of us. It's me, Cam, Jason, and then Sci-Fi Snob, and then we bring in a 5th person if we can get one that's up for it. So, anybody that's into Babylon 5, man, y'all are it's an open. Just let me know. But yeah, definitely as far as the gaming goes, probably a Thursday or Friday. Yeah, probably one of those might work.
All right, that sounds great. Yeah, I'm up for that. Definitely up for that.
I'm rusty though. Okay. Again, it's been 4 years. I have not run a game in 4 years. So I don't want to string you along for 10 months.
No, yeah, as long as it doesn't.
That's my biggest terror is that, I'm gonna.
Yeah, no.
People are gonna secretly hate it.
All right.
As long as long as we can figure things out, because it was like, it was just hard, just very hard.
Yeah.
So,
he was just upset you didn't finish up with all of his random charts yet. He's like, but there's all these hexes to visit, and it's like, we're just not.
So much for you to reveal. So,
right.
I want to kill the next NPC that says I can't help you, or I won't help you, or whatever.
I mean, we could even stream it if you want. I don't know if depending on who's open to streaming it.
I don't mind streaming. No.
We can do it on Discord or whatever.
Yeah.
I've got a Discord server, and I run a bunch up for other people that I don't even get on all the time. I got so many of them out there.
Definitely share that. Share what your Discord server is, and I'll definitely jump over.
I'll send it to you, and then
send it to me.
Or maybe I'll
and I'll join.
I think I'm on your Discord, right? I think I
am. Yeah. Pretty sure you're on my. Yes, you are.
Because you messaged me on Discord.
So just message me with your Discord, and I'll
okay. Okay. I may rename my channel. I've been thinking. I came up with a good name for one of the channels on my Discord server. So I'm like, maybe I should just rename my channel that and then start doing some random streaming stuff. I picked up that Humble Bundle. I don't know if it's expired now or if today's the last day or whatever. Where you could get all the old gold box SSI stuff for like $10.
Oh yeah.
And they give you Stream Key, so it's on Stream.
It's so hard.
Steam.
I mean, Steam Key.
Yeah.
It's so hard to go back to some of those older games, that I absolutely loved, and then I see the graphic. I was like, oh no, I just can't. I just cannot go back to it. I did that with like, Baldur's Gate 1.
I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 yet.
Yeah. So
Well,
anyway,
they did redo BG1. They did like a
upgraded it.
Yeah, they did it. In
Yeah.
fact, you can even play it on your phone now.
Oh,
So
cool.
there's an Android version of it. I don't know if they ever came out with a. I'm guessing they came out with an Apple version eventually too. But they redid BG1 and 2.
Oh, cool.
So and the graphics was one of the things that
I
they.
know I'm waiting for Bethesda to do. They definitely have to reboot Morrowind. I would love.
Yeah, I know Morrowind I played all the way through.
Yeah.
I
never played any of them all the way through. Oh, maybe Daggerheart. I might have finished Daggerheart. But
yeah, what's the one that what was the one that was open world, but it still seemed very empty?
Morrowind.
Oh no! What was the more recent?
Oblivion?
Oblivion's pretty empty
Maybe,
too.
maybe it's
pretty
maybe
empty.
it's Oblivion that I
Yeah,
beat
no,
by
that's
the way.
pretty empty. You run.
Yeah.
Which is
run through
Oblivion's older, right?
Nothing.
Well, it's after Morrowind. Yeah, it was Morrowind,
Yeah.
Oblivion, then Skyrim, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Oblivion, I remember.
It
Yeah,
may
it was
have
like
been
go
okay.
here, go to the Oblivion gates, go back, and it was like, ugh. But then when you do Skyrim, it's like there's dwarven ruins, there's all kinds of stuff. You're like, this
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah,
I thought there was somebody that was using either the Skyrim engine or one of the Fallout engines to do Morrowind, and then I think maybe Bethesda maybe dropped the hammer on them, but they were redoing it to kind of up the graphics and bring it make a more modernized version.
What they should do is hire them.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice? Isn't that a novel concept? All these guys who, they hire them to do excellent things.
I mean,
But then you might end up like that Astartes guy, and then your show gets pretty much, buried in for 3 years. At least it looks like it's coming out, but it's one of those things where it was like, just let him do his thing on his own. But that's GW, and I think they're clamping down on everybody now, so they can't make anything.
I can't afford them. I can't afford.
I don't.
You can afford
I only play the skirmish stuff anymore now. The other stuff's like I don't need another mortgage.
What is it, Commander? Is that I know one of the big
Kill
things?
Team? Or no? What do you?
Is it? Well, I kept hearing the word Commander.
That's from Magic.
That's
Is
from
it?
Magic.
Is it
Yeah,
from Magic?
right, yeah.
Okay, and then maybe Kill Team. Well, when I went to that the con up in Knoxville, that was the main. It was in an ag expo center or whatever.
Okay.
And most of the tables were basically, set up on the floor with they were also having a tournament. I guess it was like one of the somewhere apparently they have tournaments, and it's all news to me.
Mhm.
Sure.
But because I never played Warhammer, I was never in that. But it was like
Oh yeah, I'm
a
sure.
regional or state championship or something like that was
Yeah.
held at the same time there, and and they had that, and then they had like the Star Wars a version of Warhammer, whatever with the minis and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. I forget what that's called. Yeah.
That was only about a quarter of it. The other 3/4 of those tables was all Warhammer stuff. And I'm like, it's cool. It's cool looking at the minis. I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty awesome. But anytime you see somebody out there with tape measures and rulers, that they've got lots of money to burn. Apparently.
The two panelists on. So the panelists you're looking for, the what's the name of that stream?
Oh, for the Babylon 5 retrospective, look for Sci-Fi Snob.
Sci-Fi Snob.
Yeah.
Let me look for that myself.
I have a link to it I could give you. Oh, I rebooted. I gotta restart that thing. Bring up Notepad++.
Sci-Fi Snob is pretty easy to find. You just type in
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Snob, and there it goes.
It's got a Discord linked and everything.
Yeah. Oh, did he put the Discord link in there? Yeah.
Like
guess who admins the Discord?
Yes, he did. He put the Discord in there.
Guilty as charged.
So I will join the Discord right now and accept.
Yeah, and actually tonight in about half an hour, they'll be doing the Top Lofty Lounge. I don't know what the subject is, but that's kind of they'll have like that's a subject. I'm not a regular panelist on that. Sometimes I crash the party, but They did talk about Superman one episode, the original Superman's, everything before the current one, which I loved the current one, but that's my, don't judge me. Some people didn't like it. I know there's a lot of controversy on some things, but I loved the new Superman movie. But like I said, we talked. They talked about, sometimes they talk about Lord of the Rings or stuff like that. Oh, it's usually sci-fi stuff, but whatever.
I just joined it on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to wrap this one up.
I figured it was about time.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'm like looking at. I got my
go,
clock
guys.
right there,
Come
and
on.
I'm like, you're an early riser, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I am.
Yeah,
I
I'm
saw
not
the 2.5
kidding.
hours. I was like, we're pushing it here. I think.
I know it's all my fault. I feel bad.
No.
But hopefully we got
It was
we got a bunch of people watching.
meandering conversation. We went from
Military experiences, all kinds of
military
stuff
experience, kids concerts, and heavy metal and death metal and everything else in between.
Yeah.
So it was definitely an open mic, live stream, which is what it was advertised to be.
But we all, we always circled back through gaming.
Yes, we circled back, and very, very good. So, gentlemen, thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will be back on next Sunday, and I'll definitely try to get caught up on some Babylon 5, and when I get what was it, like 70 episodes of season 1 or something like that?
No,
No.
it's the traditional
Crazy.
22 episode
Oh,
per
22.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
and
so-
you can burn through them pretty quick.
I know I've done things like that. I've binge watched. I did Battlestar Galactica. I read
The original?
5. Yeah, no, not the original. The 2004. And oh geez, I was watching 5 hours a day of that stuff.
I have the original Battlestar Galactica on DVD too.
Yeah, I watched those.
And the movie, the first couple of episodes was released as a movie in theaters.
Yeah.
And to compete with Star Wars, and
Right.
I have that on Blu-ray. So
anyway, gentlemen, thanks a lot, and you all have a good one, and look forward to seeing you again, next week.
okay.